know.
I wore my red shirt on purpose. I didn't know you were having a party. I would have crashed your party.
Hey, always, every day we try to have a little fun if we can.
Well, as we're waiting for people from their last session to join, I have to say, out of all the sessions that they could have me be a room monitor, I feel really extra special that I'm with you because you and I, we've been on this journey to bring a DigCit Summit to California for years, and it's happening, and you are really the reason why we are doing what we're doing, for just being an advocate, an unbelievable advocate.
Well, you're making me blush here. Although again, you can't see very well. I was very excited, Mary Alice, to have you as as my moderator as well. So.
Well, and what you do on a regular basis is unbelievable. But what you've been doing during the pandemic and how you model digital citizenship at home with your entire family, it's
we do our best. We do our best. Some days are better than others for sure when it comes to being responsible in the Cogswell household with the craziness. You guys will see. I have four children. You'll see a few of them in my slides. But as you guys know, it's always an adventure, especially if you're a parent to children, or even a parent to furry animals. Right? We just had one of our furry animals have some surgery, so. Just keeping us on our toes.
Yes. And so for everybody that's, I'm busy trying to just make sure I admit everyone, please just jump on the chat. We'd love to know where you're joining us from. I can tell you, I've read a lot of California. Even somebody said it was 55 degrees someplace. I thought that sounded like balmy.
I think it's like warmer. I got to look at how my temperature here. I feel like it's warmer than that where I am right now.
Well, then I'm going to where you are.
59. I got 59 degrees currently. It is currently 59 degrees outside for here in Salinas, California.
If I wasn't so wired in, I'd move my laptop over so you could see the snowman out my window.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's amazing. I'm very lucky to live where I live. So got Visalia. Shout out to Nora Lancaster. Sorry, Mary Alice, go ahead.
No. This is just great. Letting everybody in and seeing the chat just starting to blow up.
All right. And I'm going to get.
What do you think about the day so far? The opening keynote, I was crying. And then I thought I might need a nap. I got to pull myself together. It was incredible. The whole day, all the sessions.
Well, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of them because this morning I was in my classroom, as I mentioned earlier, celebrating Valentine's with my kindergartners. We got to make some little Valentine's Day cards. I sent these home a little while ago, so they just cut them out. And we talked about different ways to make 10, and we got a friendship bracelet where we kind of put 10 beads on it. We separated it into groups of 10, and look, we even got our. Again, these are some ways that we learned. We were practicing reading our number sentences today in kindergarten. So there you have it. That was my morning, was being in kindergarten. And so I try to be a fun kindergarten teacher. Some days, of course, are better than others, as you guys all know, with probably what you do as well. So what do you think? I know it's 1:30, but it's a 50-minute session, and I honestly got a lot of information. Should we get started?
Guess what? I'm going to actually go quiet, which is kind of comical if you know me. I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to go on mute, and I'm just going to make sure that I continue to admit people into this session. And honestly, feel free to engage in the conversation in the chat, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of time to ask questions. And then no matter what, I hope that you'll join us later today. Past the Scope EDU is going to have a debrief about some reflections about our DigCit Summit today, in partnership with the California School Librarian Association. So take it away, Ben.
And I just want to make sure the record button, it is going. Good. I always forget. So I was looking at my screen. You're good to go. So first of all, welcome everyone. Hopefully, how's my audio coming through? That's always the question, right? Is my audio coming through okay? You guys can hear me overall? Awesome. Again, thumbs up. There you go. Thumbs down. Today's about harnessing the power of video for student success. And we're going to talk about just some ways that you can kind of create some videos in interesting ways that are very simple. Most of it has to do with one of the most powerful tools, I think, honestly, you probably carry with you all the time, which is this thing, right? Your phone. Thank you very much. I know some of you are probably in the comfort of your home or your office, wherever you are. I definitely appreciate those of you with your cameras on. It's always nice to present to some faces, but I do understand, not everybody's comfortable with that. So I dropped the slides in here. Let me drop the slides in here again. Anybody that the goal is team, you guys are my team right now. Anybody who comes in, you can just, they're like, where's the slides? You can just copy that and you can paste it for them. And then it's like, bam, like nobody ever needs to watch that. Yeah, I don't show myself, Joanna, when I'm eating sometimes either. So no worries at all. I get it. I get it. Even just leaving your camera off. Also, totally understand that. So hi, I'm Ben. If you didn't know that, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Mary Alice. I am currently a kindergarten teacher in Salinas, California, the salad bowl capital of the world, which I know a lot of you librarians must know, right? Because it's John Steinbeck country. So some beautiful country. I was a technology coach for about 4 years and a 6th grade teacher for 7 years. And they said, why did you go to kindergarten after 6th grade, like after a coach? Were they like punishing you and sending you back because you were like a rabble rouser? Well, I'm sure there's good reason to think that. But I chose to go back to kindergarten just because a lot of people found that, challenging to implement technology with kindergartners. And, I think there's a lot of possibilities. It's important for them to get that hands-on experience, like I was showing you earlier with these bead bracelets like they were doing earlier, but they do need to have those skills. Anyways, you can see here, this is actually my picture of last year of my face-to-face class, about 2 weeks. This was Read Across America Day before we went back. And this kind of shows you, of course.
Then I'm just jumping in. Were you sharing your screen? Because we don't see anything.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I should have, good. You didn't miss too much.
Okay.
Thank you. I need all the help I can get. Thank you so much. Here now is a picture of my kindergarten classroom. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm mostly a Google Meet kind of guy. So when I have to jump on Zoom, I have to remember some of my P's and Q's here. All right. So again, this is my class, Read Across America, about 2 weeks before we went into virtual learning. We are still in virtual learning. Here is kind of my currently in my classroom, and you can see and my kids up here, some of my students, and then honestly, my classroom is a lot into with my family in my house, right? Because we up in Salinas, where we are, we have not gone back yet. We are still in 100% virtual instruction. So I'm going to play a quick game, and I would love for you guys to participate in the chat. So I have some questions for you. I'm curious what your answers are. So a few things. What is this, and maybe why is it useful? Or why is it not useful? Card catalog, right? Haven't seen one of these probably maybe in a while. Finding resources to find things. How many of you use these with your emoji maybe? How many of these still have one of these in your library? If you're a librarian or media technician. I know we have a lot of librarians here, so. Yes. The internet before the internet, love it. It was really, right? When I think of a card catalog, I think of hashtags, right? A card catalog is the same thing as hashtags. So I think that's definitely true. All right. For library cards, that's a good idea for Christmas ornaments. All right. How about this one? And maybe this is a little hard. Hopefully you guys can see it. What is this and why is it useful? Hopefully just the structure of the page will give you enough information. So Melissa says table of contents. Definitely table of contents. It organizes information of the book. You find where you want to go fast. What do you guys think? And then just with an emoji, table of contents, important skill for students to learn. Media literacy, right? Card catalog. What about card catalog? Important now? Is it an important skill for students to learn? I don't know. I definitely used it when I was, when I grew up in the library. How about this? And again, you're going to have to kind of just, hopefully, depending upon your device with the screenshot, I want you to think, hopefully there's enough clues on this. What is this and why is it useful? Can see maybe the logo up in the upper left-hand corner. Discord, that's good. Yeah, YouTube. It's a YouTube search. Because it rocks. Here's my question, and because you guys are here, this is probably preaching to the choir. Would you say that whose job is it to teach a kid how to read this page, this YouTube page? How to understand this page? I'm giving you guys just some think time. Everyone? Yeah, educators, parents. Everyone, librarians, parents, right? Librarian, definitely. I feel like teachers, yes. I feel like librarians, yes. I feel like, you know, parents, yes. I don't know about you. Nobody really taught me. Nobody really taught me how to use the internet when I was growing up, right? Nobody taught me about, you know, search engines, maybe a little bit in college, maybe some Boolean search, but one of the reasons we talk a lot about videos, and even me, I still kind of have this ingrained in me, like that books are, I love books. I love reading. It is important for kids to read. It is important for kids to be able to pick up a book, understand, you know, I'm a kindergarten teacher, concepts of print. What's the cover? What's the spine? Which way do you read? Then as you're going up, what's the table of contents? What's the index? How does it work? How's informational text organized? How's narrative text organized? All super important skills. Right? I'm not going to say those skills aren't important, because they are. But I find still a lot of school systems are a lot more reticent. They teach all those skills with books, but then we start talking about YouTube videos. Do we teach some of those skills? Do we start giving kids the skills, whether it's a Google search or a YouTube search, to understand that this is a piece of media, right? This is a piece of media. And I guess I really wanted to start off with this, just to make sure, you know, with a mindset, right? Videos can be super, super powerful. Does this mean that, like, when I'm talking about this, that, you know, I'm not 100% into books and I don't think teaching all those skills is important? Yes, they are. But I find those skills are easier for teachers to teach. They're easier for librarians to teach because we've been doing it for years, right? It's these other skills I find that are a little bit more difficult. So here's my question for this. And this is for class, but with class, I don't know what, I tried to think about the correct preposition to make it fit everybody from teachers to librarians, but I couldn't necessarily think of one. So how do you feel about using videos in class? Do you like to use videos with your class or with the classes you work with, the students you work with? Do you find yourself still mostly using books, right? Do you find yourself bouncing it? Do you find yourself leaving one way or the other? Right. I love that. Tara, yes, if they add value, right? I like that balance, right? Balance of both books and videos. And again, I'm probably speaking to a lot of the preaching to the choir here, right? Because you're at this conference and you guys probably, you know, have a lot of strong feelings, I'm sure, about these, right? I love that, Catherine, as long as they are enriching and not as a babysitter. That is definitely a good point to make. And I agree with all of those things. So here's one of the reasons why I love using videos in class. This was my kindergarten classroom, of course, last year before, but you can see I've kind of stepped it up using the videos in class too, with the disco lights and the strip lighting. You know, these aren't just for classrooms. You can also use them for librarians or libraries, right? Whatever it is, they're pretty cheap. I think videos are great because they're fun, they're engaging, they're repetitious, and they're portable. And here's some reasons with some research on here. Why do we use, why am I like such a big fan of video? It doesn't matter if it's a YouTube video or a teacher created video, any kind of video. Here's what I love. It's replayable, right? I can record a video for my students. They can watch it as many times as they want to, right? It's reviewable. Oh, I didn't hear what the teacher said. Guess what I can do? Hit that 15-second back button and go listen to it again, right? I don't have to raise my hand and interrupt, right? Rewindable. Again, these are all kind of they overlap a little bit, right? We can rewind it to review it or replay it, right? We can replay it because we need more repetition, right? We can rewind it and focus on important parts. And it also gives us this idea of 24/7 access. And in case you're a researchy person, there's some research at the bottom. Again, this is a 50-minute session, so I'm not going to go into that. But definitely, right? Definitely. I think they're important. So I was just going to take a second. I think one of the things I always appreciate is being able to walk away with resources. And I got a whole team right now that you guys are with me of librarians. And if you want to just take a second, if you can open up a new tab, if you want to take maybe just your favorite YouTube video, put a title, and then just drop it in the chat. Like, what is your favorite YouTube video for your students, right? That you like to use with students. I'm going to put up one. Let me see here. One of my favorite YouTube videos, let me see here, is watch the letters get down. And again, this is in part because I have, of course, a kindergarten teacher. If I can get my kids, like my kindergartners, like singing this song every day where they're saying the letter and the letter sounds, I mean, this is great, right? So here we go. Watch the letters get down. I'm just going to put the name. I'm going to put the link. There you go. Right. If you want to put a name, definitely of your video, I think that's helpful too, just so people can see what the video is, right? The power of yet. I mean, there's so many great YouTube videos out there. There's so many great videos. So this is just kind of like my little pause of you being able to take a second, even if you don't drop it now. At some point, if you have a favorite YouTube video that you like to use, right? Even if it's a channel, right? If you have a favorite YouTube channel, I love the Singing Walrus. Again, I work with younger kids. The Singing Walrus, I'll bring it up. They just have so many great learning songs. Singing Walrus, and even honestly, some of the older kids, right? Not just, this is definitely a great K through 2 material, but some of these with a Singing Walrus, Sing Walrus. There you go. My bad typing here. This is the Singing Walrus, and they just have so many just fun songs and videos in here. Wash your hands song, you know, weather songs, counting songs, how to draw letters correctly songs. So this is just fun. Anyways, this is the Singing Walrus, and I'm just going to put it in here. Oh, yes, Go Noodle is great. Fun songs for younger kids. Okay. All right. So again, feel free to drop those. Again, thank you for putting like a little title there. I feel like that really helps. That's just to walk away maybe with something to watch later and you know, to leave with you. So YouTube videos are great, but I don't know if anybody of you, if you have these problems that I have. They're great, but they get caught in network filters. Anybody have any of these problems? Your YouTube videos getting caught in network filters? Right, the whole question of like, can or should we download them? I think most of us have probably it's hard right now not to download a YouTube video if your student, to give your students access to that learning. But should we do that? Can we do that, right? And I find, you know, YouTube videos don't always fit our students. So what do we do instead? Right? What do we do instead? And this goes to this question. What is in my opinion, honestly, what the most powerful piece of technology we have as a teacher? Any guesses what you think it is? Giving you that think time, right? That is true, but I don't know. I'm not quite technology yet. I don't have that microchip in my brain. I feel like one of the most powerful pieces of technology we have as a teacher is this thing, or as a librarian, as an educator, is this thing, right? Why? I mean, think about this. If I would have told you, like, maybe for those of us, you know, if you've been teaching a little longer, let's go back 20, 30 years ago. If I would have told you you could have a video camera for all of your kids to take home, would you be pumped and would you be psyched? What if I told you that you could have some headphones, right? Like a tape recorder set, and you could have a bunch of digital tapes that you could send home with your students. Would you be pumped? Right? I mean, I think I would, right? Oh, here's a camera that you can send home with your students. Well, I feel like sometimes we forget. I mean, why do we even still call this a phone, right? Why are we still calling this a phone? It's really not a phone. It's a computer, and it's very powerful. So here's kind of what I want to talk a little bit about, because this whole session's on using videos for student success, is just the power that you have with not your phone, but your camera, right? I mean, this thing makes you as a teacher, literally, if I have my phone and I have Wi-Fi, as a teacher, as a librarian, I could interact with my class from anywhere, right? Any act with our kids from anywhere, right? So I want you to think about again, these reasons to use video. Just keep them in your mind, because we're going to get transformed to you. And I really should, I apologize. I should have changed this last one from teacher to make it more inclusive. But we're going to make you a director, a producer, a YouTuber, an edutainer, right? And then put yours in there, right? We're going to transform you in this little time. Are you guys ready to be transformed? You don't have to have the clown hair at the end if you don't want to, but it's rainbow. So that at least makes it pretty awesome, right? Big fan of the rainbow. Right? Yes, school librarians are. I guess educator is a more inclusive word, right? Than teacher, right? So I apologize. We're always learning as we go. I want to talk about the features on your phone or your camera, and yours may look a little bit different, right? iPhones, pretty much the same. If you have like another phone, do you use all the features in your phone on your camera? So right now, if you have your phone, get your phone out, right? Open your camera app up right now. Let's look at these features that they have in here, because it amazes me with these features, just what kind of things that I can do for learning, right? Again, it turns me into this, and learning is everywhere. And that's what we want our kids to see, right? We want our students to see that learning is everywhere, right? So open up your phone and I want you to think, and if you're on the iPhone, right, I can open it up and I can kind of scroll back and forth on the bottom. I'm sorry, I'm not like a Pixel Android person. And so this is definitely could be a little bit different, than what you have. But I want you to look at the features on your phone, right? You know how I learned technology? I just click on stuff. I just like tap on stuff, right? That's what I want you to do, right? That's what I did when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid and I got my first Macintosh computer, Apple computer, I just clicked on stuff, right? And I tried it out. What does this do? I was like looking, I'd go under menu, like I'd like click on file up here and I'd be like, oh, these things are shortcuts, computer shortcuts. So if I hit like open Apple T, that shows you how long ago I was using shortcuts, right? Open Apple T, it'll do something. So you just got to explore right now, right? That's what we got to do. So I want to talk about 4 features on your phone that I think that you can use for very impactful learning. You got your photos, you got your videos, you got slow motion and time lapse. Honestly, slow motion and time lapse, I feel like are totally underused tools when it comes to teaching. I'm going to show you some examples of them. I'll pause it a few times. I probably will not get through again. This is 50 minutes. So I'm going to kind of try to hit the highlights here, because I'm the kind of I'm an over planner for a teacher, right? And I will always plan too much for my lessons, but I would rather have you walk away with a little bit extra that you could look at in the slideshow later than not enough and early. So these features in your phone. So let's talk about our features in our phone, our camera, whatever we want to call it. And let's see right now. Okay, there you go. So here's a picture. It's a picture of the side of my house. What learning do you see here? What could this be used? This is just simply me going outside of my house and taking a picture. What learning do you see here? Gardening. Types of flowers. A garden. Wind is blowing. Shapes. Patriotic science. Weather. Flag Day. Ooh. You guys are with me, right? In this photo, even though it's a photo I took, there's a million different things I can do. What I love about us taking our own photos, we don't have to worry about copyright, right? I know as librarians, you guys are super aware of Creative Commons. Honestly, I don't feel like most teachers are necessarily, right? We make our own stuff. We don't have to worry about Creative Commons. We can also contribute to that library, right? I can take this picture, upload it to Flickr, tag it as Creative Commons license to reuse. And I'm just giving kids, teachers, people more access to images, right? Okay, what about this one? Again, this is a simple photo. This is fun. This was taken on 4th of July. You guys kind of say, I'm going to skip this one because because of time, but you can see, right? Like the first one, some of you guys said shapes, right? There are shapes everywhere in this. It's simply by taking a picture, right? And figuring out, well, what can I do with it? Where is the learning there? Okay, you're reading a book on weather, right? Well, let's go get some weather pictures of our own house, right? Let's go get some videos and we'll talk about this, as well. The garden aspect is another great one too. Okay, I'm not going to show you this whole thing, but I want you to think about what learning do you see here? Let's go to the end here. This is day 100 of in the spring. Oh, I'm not sharing my audio here. Let me give me a second. Boom, boom. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 50, 40. I messed that one up. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right. So what's the learning we see here? Right? You guys got it. I'm sure it's easy. I can skip this one. Where we got counting. If I went to the beginning, right, you would have seen the calendar, right? We're reviewing the calendar here. Again, guess what this was done with? Just with this, right? Just with this phone. Again, this tool is just simple, right? Using these tools, right? Taking the time, because when we make our own stuff, in my opinion, right, again, if we're working with a group of students, I feel like my students connect when they see me on video more when they do with a stranger. So it's just about getting that phone up and pushing the record button and getting over the fact that I don't like to hear myself on camera, right? This is me saying this about myself. I've done I don't know, thousands of videos. I still don't like listening to myself, right? But just again, that learning is everywhere. And man, this drove me crazy because I don't know if you do a Facebook live sometimes, if you have to start with the camera one way and you can't turn it. Anyways, again, this is just me. This was on 100 day of school. And we turned my learning. Here we go. I'll just play a little bit of it.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was turned.
Almost wrapping up day 100. These are dimes. We're going to skip the nickels here. What do we have up here? We have pennies. And guess how many pennies we have? 100.
Okay, again, this is just a video. It's just, all I did is what? Take a piece of chart paper, put a bunch of money on the back, right? And hit that play button. But part of it is, again, students that we are working with, we want to connect with the students, especially right now if we're still virtual. How do we connect with the students? We push that video button and we just record. We make videos. It's really that simple. But here are the features on the camera that I feel like, and then again, you just put it in an LMS. My biggest thing, sorry, I skipped this one. My biggest thing, again, do I feel comfortable downloading somebody else's YouTube videos to share with my students, right? This whole thing on read alouds too. I mean, that's a whole nother issue. Can we read books, right? There's certain publishers that let you read them. There's certain publishers that don't. You know, in my opinion, if you're reading a book and you're kind of, you know, keeping it close to your students, I don't think it's a big issue, right? If you're making money on YouTube off of somebody else's book, that's a whole different thing. Right? But just the fact that I can record that video of learning and just post it to my student LMS. It could be a video of somebody else, but again, we got the copyright issue and the connection, right? My students are going to be more connected with me. In fact, this is funny. I have a colleague that I work with and we both make videos for our students. Sometimes she'll make videos for my students and I'll make videos for her students. I have never had her students in my live class. I don't know the names of her students, but almost every single one of her students, when they kind of get their materials and they see me, they know who I am. They say hi to me. I am their teacher. And all it took was this, right? That's what YouTube, you could be somebody else's teacher with a YouTube video. That makes you a global teacher with just simply the record button. That's how powerful these devices is. You can tell I get really excited and passionate about it. But the even coolest features that I never feel like we use or we don't use on our phones or cameras, slow motion. I mean, what learning do you see here? I heard somebody bring up weather. We're talking about the weather and the wind, right? You could see it with the flag, couldn't you? But how about this one? Can I use this to teach vocabulary? What vocabulary could you teach with this picture? Sway. Ooh, yeah. Somebody may be looking ahead in the slides or just on the same page as I am. What's the difference between a breeze and a gale and a gust? Is this more of a breeze or more of a gust? With the picture, just a static picture, I can't, it's really hard, right? But all of a sudden I get my phone out, I take that slow motion, even if it's just a breeze, I can really see the grass swaying, right? We can talk about shades of meaning. Again, and it's Creative Commons. This is your piece of work, right? That you can share. And all it is using your camera, AKA your phone. This is a cool one. And thank you for Mary Alice for adding that. Here's another cool one. One of my favorite slow-mos. My slides here are like, I don't want to go forward. There we go. What about that one? You ever tried that? Here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. If you've never done a slow motion, go like turn your sync on to a drip and then just hit the slow motion. We're talking about topics that we can teach students. What could you use? Gravity, right? Donna, definitely gravity. What else? Surface tension of water, right? I mean, there's just so much you can do, like the grass was swaying, right? You could think about like an ant crawling. I mean, all of these little things, water conservation. I mean, they're so powerful. And that is just literally a drip. So again, if you don't know your slow motion feature on your phone, when this is done, and I'll even I put some playtime in there. I don't know how long it's going to be again with 50 minutes. But go turn your faucet on, turn it to a drip, and try doing a few slow motion. Some of it is just starting to think. Once you know the tools and you start using some of the tools here, then all of a sudden you can really think about how you're going to use them. Like, for example, man, my slides are definitely not working with me today. So I'm just going to zoom out, and I'm going to go back in here. Keep clicking, go to the next one, and it's not. You guys are good, right? We're still on the slides. There's somebody said sway, right? So now all of a sudden I'm putting this picture in a learning LMS. This is Seesaw, by the way. I love Seesaw for kids creating. And now kids are demonstrating their knowledge, right? They're making their own little video there. That's a picture of me, but I think you guys get my drift. No pun intended. All right, let's see here. Again, let's try my arrow keys. My mouse isn't working to go forward. Let's try the arrow keys. All right, so here's another one. We're talking about features on your phone. How many of you use your time-lapse feature? I think my time-lapse feature may even be more of a favorite than my slow motion. And I saw Nora definitely, I'm sure does. Thanks, Melissa too, awesome. Check this out, time-lapse. This is so cool. This was done actually on an iPad, but I'll even do it full screen here. Bigify it, as maybe my kids would say. I just have to be quiet because I just watch it and stare. How cool is that? Now, honestly, I mean, this was over like 10 days, 7 days of a time lapse. So I just happened to have an extra iPad, and I put that actually there. But your time lapse feature, again, being able to simply take your phone and maximize what's on it. How about this one? This is a little bit of fun, right? Going back, but even just thinking about, when we're talking with students, we're talking about how do we learn? How do we move in the classroom? What does it look like, right? It's just simply setting that up. All it is that time lapse. You want to do some cool time lapses? Go set your phone, or, if you have an old phone, set it outside, get the weather. Watch how the clouds are doing. You want to talk about seasons? Show them how the clouds move from sunset to sunrise. Does it take a long time? Sure. Right? Is it very powerful? Yes. And what makes it best, again, this whole idea that when you create the video, you can do with it what you want. You can put it what you want. And all it is simply by using the camera. And now look, now this is an activity that I've embedded into a science journal. And so you can see, right, the kids can actually observe. They can type here. What do they notice or what do they wonder, right? They can sketch it over here. This is, again, using Seesaw. I do have this available, but isn't that pretty powerful, being able to just embed those videos directly into my lessons like that? Again, who owns the video? You do. How long did it take? Actually, not that long. The time took a long, but once you set that up and you hit record, like, you can do it, honestly. I did it for like days and days and days on an iPad, right? You got an iPad, you just go ahead, boom, hit that record button, try it. Try your time lapse out. Think about it. It's always fun. Like, think about it. If you're in the library, try a time lapse of you putting your books back. set your camera up in the corner and go and reshelf all your books. Then you can see, hey, students, when you mess with the books, look at all the hard work I have to do. When you don't put the books back right, it makes more hard work for me. I'm like a busy bee. I'm as busy as a bee, right? And so just the moments that we can share just by using these simple features that we often forget are on our devices, right? So here's my thing with this. Explore those features, use those features, and remember, right? Okay, this week I'm reading a book on Valentine's, right? So I'm going to go and my students can experience it. If you put up, decorations around your library, if you're still in there, you could go ahead and just, oh, everybody, look, this is the library. I set it up for you. This is my heart section over here. It lets you connect with students. You just get your phone out, you just record. You can just simply upload it to YouTube, Google Drive, whatever your LMS is, Google Classroom, whatever, right? But it lets you connect with your students. And it is not, I just think about before, right? If I was going to take, I had my photos, right? I had to get my canister. I had to load it correctly. I had to put it in. I had to take it to, the 1 hour Photoshop or whatever. I had to go and pick it up. Now I can snap a picture and literally a minute later, my students can have access to it, right? A picture, a photo. It's just so powerful what you can do. Let's see, how are we doing on time? All right. I think I've been talking pretty fast. And this is kind of the first section. And again, I don't know what it was up in my slides again. I'm going to have to use my arrow key here. Okay. So I'm going to give everybody just a few moments to be able to process. Okay. If you want to go and take a second, to explore some of those features, I'm not going to give a whole lot of playtime right now. I've done this session in a little bit longer. Ooh, I like that. The Exploratorium taught me how to use cheap laser pointer lens to turn a iPad right into a microscope. I assume you kind of put the lens right over your camera, although with the new cameras, do I need 3 of those lenses? Give everybody a chance. If you have any questions or you have any comments, again, the big thing is I want you to think about the tool that you have in your hand, right? And how you can use that tool to aid what you do. Whether that's, again, just recording things, could be just recording yourself reading a book, right? And sharing it with your students. But that record button is so powerful. And the fact that, I'd rather have my students hear a book from, my librarian, Miss Marta, rather than just some random person on YouTube. Well, let's see, here's my test. Can someone drop the link to the slides again? Do I have my helper in here? That was my test. No, I'm just kidding. I can do that. I can do that as well. Okay, so yes, thank you, Darla. I knew somebody would come through for me. You're the winner. Thumbs up. And in my screen, Darla, you're right below me. So I can, when I do this to you, I'd give you a high five. Boom, right there. All right. How are we feeling so far? Good? Okay, again, just use the simple tools you have. All right. Well, Ben, you talked about using it from your phone. So this, as I mentioned, how do I share it? How many of you have a YouTube channel? Here's my other question. How many of you have a Gmail? Did you know you have your own YouTube channel? Right? If you have a Gmail, some of us, right? Some of us know, some of us don't. If you have a Gmail, like for example, that is associated with your school account, you have a YouTube channel. Honestly, there's so many benefits of you having your own YouTube channel. As a librarian, right? You're used to collecting information and organizing information, right? As a lot of times, right? You're probably really good at that. Do you have a YouTube playlist? Well, if to have a YouTube playlist, you have to have a YouTube channel, right? And it's like a song playlist, right? When we make our mixtape, I can create, oh, here's these, videos on science that really connect to this, right? Boom, 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 boom. I can build my own playlist, right? Just wanted to make us aware. And if you don't know how to do these things, that's okay. Just do a YouTube search for it. How to create a YouTube playlist, right? I'm sure you'll get one pretty quick. But thinking about the ways that I can share these videos. Okay, so Ben, I make these videos on my phone. What do I do with them now? Well, you got to upload them somewhere, right? These are the suggestions for if you're like a Microsoft person, you can replace, instead of your Google Drive, you can replace that with whatever Microsoft, tool that you guys, OneDrive. It's still your drive, I think, right? So where could you put your videos? Honestly, I think YouTube is a great place for us to put our videos, right? Why? Because it makes it accessible, shareable, subscribable, and public. I'm going to go over here to this YouTube, and I'm going to go here. So my daughter was in second grade. My daughter was a second grader, and her teacher was starting to kind of teach her about, you know, repeated addition. And what is repeated addition? Repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication. So they were talking about factors and multiples, and she had given them a Khan Academy video, but it was a fourth grade Khan Academy video. And I was watching it. She was watching it, reviewing it. But guess what? She didn't really understand it because it was made for fourth graders. So you know what I did? I took out my iPad. I made these little videos you can see 5 years ago. I made this video on what is a multiple. It's a little cheesy. It was done for a second grader. As you guys can tell, I'm probably a little cheesy as it is, right? My favorite cheese is blue cheese, by the way. And so I guess I'm just a big stinky cheese. I ate my iClown today. Anyways, this is a video that I made. Now, the coolest thing I found, some people like this video, some people don't like this video. I made it for my second grade daughter. I decided to upload it to YouTube. At this point, 5 years later, it has 79,000 views, right? I actually have kids that come here and just say, hey, thank you. Look, I'm an 8-year-old math refresher course. Thank you. You've taught me about a multiple. I get some trolls in here too. Thank you for this. Really helped me on my exam. This was if this was my elementary math teacher, I would have loved math as a subject. Thanks. I actually do have a test, so this refreshed my mind. I just got all these people, right, that just saw this video that I just posted on YouTube for my daughter. And so again, I do this because if you are making some of these videos and they happen to be educational, you can become a global teacher just by uploading them to YouTube. Do they have to be the best? Not necessarily, but somebody might appreciate them, right? If you want to turn off thumbs down, thumbs up, that's fine, right? But sometimes we're scared to put ourselves out there, but all of us are probably in this business because we want to help students, right? So again, other options, your Google Drive, your OneDrive. That's an okay. It makes it more private. If you're a little bit worried about privacy, honestly, some of the read alouds, I just try to be careful with read alouds if I can, just because right now, book publishers have said different things about their materials, right? You can go ahead and directly ask the author, you know, and so this is just me off the record. My opinion, if you do a read aloud, you know, for my students right now, I want them to hear me reading books. So I need to think about, though, where I'm posting my read aloud. Again, if it's somebody else's book and depending upon the permissions, maybe the best place to put it is in Google Drive or just directly in their platform, right? That way it's limited. I have a lot more control, but all of it is figuring out where are you going to put it, right? So our librarian, what she did is she did some read alouds and she just uploaded them to a Google Drive and our students can have access to those. A lot of them are pretty good. If I look at, I used to have a blog post and it said, like, it broke down like what different publishers were saying during this time. A lot of them said that, you know, we are okay if you do this read aloud, if you're sharing it like just with your students in an LMS, right? That's going to be the safest way. What's an LMS again? A learning management system. Google Classroom is an LMS, right? Seesaw could be that. And thank you guys guys and gals for chiming in here with your opinions. That's definitely appreciate those going in there. Christy, you got to decide if you're recorded read alouds, you know, again, for me, it's your decision. Like for me, if my read alouds maybe are unlisted, right? Unlisted, only people with a link can find them, right? Because I can do them public, I can do them unlisted, I can do them private, right? Maybe if they're unlisted, again, if you're making money off of it, you know, that may be another issue because you can monetize your YouTube videos, right? Probably many of us have not done that. I prefer not to because then they have ads in them. But literally, if you just have a Google account, here's the video for you. You just sign up and from my phone, this is the coolest thing I find. Like from my phone, I can just go to like, here's my YouTube app. You can kind of see it, right? Literally from my phone, I can just hit like the plus button and upload a video. I just hit this plus button. This is me just trying to show you how easy this is. YouTube app, plus button, upload a video. Boom, right there. I just made a video and I can just simply upload it. Why do I love YouTube? Part of the reason I do is it stores my videos in a place. How many of you have a messy Google Drive? You don't have to raise your hands. I do. My Google Drive is a mess, and sometimes it's super hard to find things in. But when I put it to my YouTube channel, I know that's where my videos go, and it makes it easier for me to access them. It's a place where I can organize them. It's like my library of videos, if you will, right? And then, like I mentioned before, I can start to create, again, playlists, right? And you can only create a playlist if you have your own YouTube account. And so here's one, right? Parent Digital Citizenship. We did a Parent Digital Citizenship Academy, and right now we only have 2 videos there. That's especially for you, Mary Alice. But those playlists.
When I see that word,
Kiddos Creations. Here's a playlist of all my Kiddos Creations. These are all the videos. Oh, by the way, let's see here. Again, because one of the things is not only creating videos as an adult, it's having the kids create videos. Let's see here. You guys know, since it's Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, here you go. Here is a free to use. You guys can download this. Story of the Chinese New Year, if you'd like. This was made by my 2nd graders at the time. He's a 5th grader now.
But the snake snuck up.
Power of video, right? This was done with green screen, Play-Doh, and cut out. Anyways, if you'd like to have a video to celebrate Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, there you go. It happens to be today. And all it does was taking that video, and here's the cool thing, right? This is a video my son created, right? He was a 2nd grader at the time. Now it's like a memory. He's able to upload it here, and again, other people are able to access it. All it is just creating these videos and putting them somewhere, right? And how can we do this? Just with this super powerful device, right? Again, it's super easy. It's just download the app for YouTube, sign in, and then you upload it from your phone. Then if you want to, you can delete it later. All right. How we doing? Again, we talked about some cool things you can do with your phone to make videos, and it's just simply try those features out, right? We also talked about a place that we could put them. Now I'm gonna end up by just giving you some recording tips. And if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, conundrum, giving you a time to maybe, I'm looking for my coffee. Unfortunately, I'm really sad because I don't have it here right now. But if you have your coffee, you can take a sip for me, or tea, or water, whatever your beverage of choice is right now. Okay, we good to go? All right. So I'm going to give you some of my tips. So, okay, we talked about just using our phone or our iPad, whatever, your tablet to make videos. But with some of these tips, you can take your videos from here up to the next level. Some of you may know some of these tips, some of you may not. Some of these are simple, but let's get rid of some of the low-hanging ones. Of course, as I'm sure many of you know, right? If we are making YouTube videos or any kind of videos, where should our lighting come from? Right? Always in front of us and not behind us. Because I mean, right now you can see where I teach from. I usually put this up when I work with my students. And I'll get to that question, Patty. But look, you can see now with the light behind me, definitely, is it as clear of a picture? No. Right? And so it's just thinking about when I'm doing my videos, where is my light? If I'm going outside, right? Am I filming into the sun? Am I filming against the sun? Again, how about this? If you do not have one of these yet, and you plan on using your phone a lot, tripod, right? Get a tripod. I mean, especially like this one on the right, you can get them pretty cheap right here. But you can use like a tripod, honestly, then it turns your phone into you can use it as a document camera, right? You don't have to hold it. You can, with this one, right, you can extend it, you can move it up. It even like this one, you can see has like the Bluetooth thing on the bottom that you can turn it on and you can turn it off. You don't have to go up to the phone. Oops, and you can click on that and we'll take you to Amazon. All right, what about this one? All right. Maybe if you're posting specifically to something like Snapchat or TikTok, then maybe you can get away with vertical videos. There is a video. It's very funny. It's called Vertical Video Syndrome. It is only for adults, and it does have a little crass humor. But if you're looking for a funny video on more reasons why you should not film horizontally, you can look up the YouTube video Vertical Video Syndrome. Again, there's a little crass humor in there. But definitely sometimes we forget. And I don't know how many times I just see people when they're filming stuff and they film like this, right? Again, especially if you're going to use it on a computer screen, just turn your phone sideways. No videos. Microphones, especially if you're on a computer, can go a long way. I think I have often heard that, in fact, the sound is more important in a video than the actual visuals, right? So even if it's just taking your headphones, right? Plugging your headphones in if you're going to want to film it, especially if you're outside and filming, just because you're going to get a lot of wind. If you're filming videos using on your computer, definitely don't use your computer microphone. It's just going to sound so much better. Even if you just get you can look up gamer microphones, telemarketer microphones. I think most of us have these now, but again, think about those using your microphone. Okay, pausing and processing again. Those were quick tips. I'm going to go back here. So the software for a few questions. Software for the green screen. My favorite software for green screen, honestly, is Do Inks apps. And I know Nora will help me out. She'll maybe drop a link to the website because I know she uses that. Do Ink apps it's for iOS, but it's amazing video creation tool for green screen. It's super simple to use. It's very user friendly. So Do Inks apps, if you're familiar with that. That one's I use a lot. You can get a little fancier. I should know about what do you use OSB? I should know what OSB stands for, but I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do a quick Google search for that one. What is OSB? That's what Google's for, right? OSB ? Oriented Standard Board. I don't know. Maybe it's something else, but you have to help me out with the OSB. Thank you, Nora, for dropping that in there. I agree. There's some features like the Apple Clips, right? When you're doing subtitles, it drives me crazy, right? I like it to add video captions. All right. Thank you. And again, Tara, good. Lapel mics are very cheap, right? They're cheap and easy. And especially if you're doing a read aloud, right? You could get like a 15-foot lapel mic, just literally hook it up into your phone, go sit, maybe in your librarian chair, and then you could just read and you could do the read aloud that way. This is something I found that was helpful. When I do read alouds, I use a music stand. I just get a tripod and I use a music stand. That way I can kind of put the book and the book doesn't move up. The book doesn't move down. If you have a document camera, obviously you can lay it flat. But a lot of times, I'll just get my tripod with my phone, and then I'll just put the music stand and I'll put the book on there. Super quick. Sometimes, again, we don't always have to make it fancy, right? Just getting the book up there. So some of the biggest YouTube video read alouds, I don't know if you've seen there. Is this lady, and she just uses little finger puppets, and she has millions of video views when she does read alouds because she just uses these little finger puppets like this, and she's like, "Hey everybody," right? You can even just do this. Check this out. Pro tip: if you want to engage your younger kids, right? Here's an awesome puppet. Let's see. Maybe this is the wrong one. You guys like my puppet here? Hi everybody, I'm a puppet, right? The little kids, it's amazing how you can just take your finger, draw a smiley face. We're going to read some books today. Are you ready to read some books? All right. Remember, it's always good to read every word. So make sure to use your finger if you need to. Anyways, just, you can see, just being silly, these silly things to engage kids, right? And even just doing that when you're holding it so close to the microphone or the camera, right? And then just using that for your read aloud, just these little things. And honestly, again, making your I'm going to skip ahead because I think there's one more important section. I've talked a little bit about making your teaching portable, but you can see that, right? It's just, all that is an iPad. There's my puppet. I have my iPad. I'm outside. I can teach from anywhere, right? I have my tripod. I have my calendar there, right? All it takes is like, these are what I need. I can teach from anywhere with a tripod, like this whiteboard, maybe this chart paper stand, add some puppets in there, especially, you know what, even the 4th and 5th and graders, they like puppets too, right? Because this is for K through 5. But I also think student created videos, right? And I think it's down here, but I want you to think of also about how do we get our students to create videos? And I thought I had a section in here, but I apologize. I think it's down at the bottom. I'm not going to go for here. Other types of videos, right? Here's your let me go again. Sorry, in and out. So making your teaching portable, right? Recording it doesn't have to be fancy. If it's just you and puppets, they can go a long way. Maybe it seems silly, right? Even if it's your finger. All right. Here's another way. How many of you have used tools like Screencastify or Loom? Right? I love Epic Books for kids. I love Epic Books for kids. And that is one of the ways that sometimes I will make read alouds for kids, right? Because I'm at my house. I don't have access to all the same books that I have to, right? So I'll go to Epic Books for Kids, right? And I'll do a read aloud. Now, here's one of the cool things. Let me show you this. This is a little tip if you want to, again, do a read aloud. Let me open up Epic Book. Let me change my screen. And I know we only have about a few minutes left. So this is going to be the last one I'm going to show you, I think, hopefully here. Okay, let me see here. Let me go to Epic. If you use like something like Loom or Screencastify, there's this thing called the floating video head effect, and I just think it's super cool. I'm just gonna pick a book, any book, it doesn't matter right now. Can you guys see? Let's see, I got a book on turkeys. You guys see my book on turkeys? All right, so I'm going to show you with Screencastify, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these, you can use any of these tools here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to record, and I'm going to record because we're talking about engagement for students. Let me see. I got it. I'm going to do record my desktop. Record this. You guys are going to get to see yourselves, by the way, too, in the picture, I think. Now, here's what I love. All right. Can you guys see right now? I'm holding, here's my face right here. See, I'm moving around. All right, everybody, check this out. We're going to read this book on turkeys. So today we're reading a book on turkeys. This is the cover up here, all right? So right here, even though a digital book looks a little different, it still has a cover. So here's our cover, all right? Let's start reading. Of course, you wouldn't have the Zoom panel up that you'd see. All right, let's go ahead and read this, kindergartners, if we can. All right, I'm going to read it for you. Turkeys on the farm. How cool is that? All I'm literally doing is recording with my desktop. I just click on the panel of me and I can move it around. Wow. Remember, when we read, we also read the pictures. Look at this picture here. I can see a lot. Look at this interesting turkey. All right. Remember, let's flip to the next page. And that's maybe the one tip that you could, that's hopefully, I'm glad this was a good one for you. Okay, remember we can read the captions. See this right here? This is a caption, right? It's important information. It doesn't necessarily go with the text, always with the text down here, but it might give us more information. You guys can see now how the power of video. All I did is bring up an Epic Book. I just hit the record button. Super simple, right? Now here's the coolest thing, again, with this is once I stop recording, how easy is it to share this with my students, even with you? Here you go. Not that you'd want this, but I'm going to go here, copy shareable link, and here you go. Boom. There you go. That's what I love about it. How quickly did I just give you access to the read aloud video that I just made? Okay. So hopefully, again, with these last 5 minutes, hopefully I gave you just some ideas and some tips. My biggest thing is, as you kind of heard me say before, and let me reshare my screen here, is start thinking about your phone and your camera and what you can do with that and what you can capture with that, right? Think about those features on it. Try out your time lapse. Try out your slow-mo, okay? Think about, again, where do you post those videos? You can post them on YouTube, right? How quickly can you give access, right? Even when you're making those videos, those simple things, think about your audio. Just get even a lapel mic. That will do you wonders with a $5 or $10 lapel mic, right? You will be amazed how much better your audio will sound. Use tools like Screencastify to create your own videos of your own read alouds, and especially again, how you can just move your little box around. I do have a tutorial I'll try to grab here at the end. You can go to coachben.org where actually it shows you how it walks you through that process again with Screencastify if you wanted to see that again. So again, these are the tools for a 21st century educator, right? Your phone, that's a tool, right? Things like Screencastify or Loom, which is free for educators, right? Think about the things that you can record. You can record books with these things. You can record read alouds. You can record presentations. You can record anything on your screen, right? So anyways, I'm going to kind of jump forward to the end. And again, here's, oh, yep, here it is. I know it's in there. Student created videos. Here's my last challenge for you. Let your students create videos. Let them show you. Let them, right, be the teachers as well. Because if we can get our students, right, they're already creating videos. My daughter already wants to create videos, although she's pretty good at not posting them, right, on TikTok and Snapchat. Well, what if we're starting to have them create these videos on things like, you know, concepts of print, or counting to 100, or the retelling of the hungry caterpillar, or butterfly science journals, or them saying their letter sounds. Or here, I'll just play this little one. Let's see.
My favorite part in school is writing because I always write for my mom because I love her, like cards and rainbows. That's what I love. I like
What was your, you give your students a book, you give them a chance. What was your favorite part of the book, right? Give them a chance to start hitting that record button and sharing that information. Even if it's, you might not have this kind of access right now to students, but start thinking about like videos. They're going to create them anyways, right? They're going to go to YouTube anyways. I want to send them to YouTube for me. I want to send them to YouTube for my content, which I can make with this. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be this, you know, like Oscar-winning video, but again, just the impressions that you can leave. So thank you guys and gals so much for being with me. Hopefully you were able to walk away with a few things again. And I appreciate being here with you all here on this wonderful day.
Ben, that was, I mean, I am going to have to go back. I feel like everyone is probably going to have to go back. I want to make sure that everyone has the link to your slides. They know how to contact you because we have one last session that is beginning in 1 minute. So one last session for the end of our day for our DigCit Summit in partnership with the California School Librarian Association. But there's that live after, if you want to come and, you know, reflect and think about how are we going to put this into action tomorrow?
Can you guys see right now? I'm holding, here's my face right here. See, I'm moving around. There you go. Sorry about that. Wrong misclick. Yes, and so if they want to get a hold of me, I'm going to put the slides in here one more time, Mary Alice. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm going to put the slides in here one time. If you ever need to get a hold of me, and I'll put this in here as well, you can go to coachben.org. Coachben.org. I think that's the long link for the slides. But again, www.coachben.org. It will take you to a Google site. I have ways to get a hold of me. I have some tutorials there, like how to do the floating head effect with Screencastify. Thank you all so much, and I wish you good luck on your journey.
Thank you. And we've got 3 great last sessions, so I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.